I have a description and a chapter on how to keep yourself safe and secure. Because what goes on every day is what I gotta keep myself on an alert of and on the lookout of. And I I I feel like I'm feeling and hating to hear bad news that goes on every day. And I watch the news just to keep be on the lookout for cautiousness and awareness. And I feel like when I'm watching the news, staring at the television, it it does some impact to my health and my mind. But the purpose and what's important about watching news is to be aware and be aware of what the breaking news are and tragedies that are massive that been a disaster. And the biggest organized crime that I can describe myself into is drug trafficking, financial crimes like terrorism organizations, gangs, and drug wars that's been happening in this world with the organized crime. And we're out there to help people get their lives together. The reason why I'm making this video, making this review to you, is to give you my opinion to change your life, get your life together, and we want to help you survive. Like I'm caring for poor people and rich people both ways. I'm independent to people. I like to be nice. Nice is where I can help people out. I'm I'm glad to meet people I don't know. I'm glad and happy to what I could do to them. What I can do to help them change their life, help them change habits. Like I have a list of what I gotta write down and share it out to the people, share it out to my community. Like I want to promote people. I want to promote the homeless people to get their jobs, find them the home to stay in, donate donate money to the poor people, especially who are unemployed, who don't have money, who can't afford food, who are not eligible for food stamps. Like I'm the one. I'm out there to be the right person to people. I want to promote people to stay away from organized crime, help people stay away from being a criminal. I want to help people stay away from like criminal convictions such as drug convictions, drug addictions, drug possessions that I want to help people with in life. That's like common crimes, especially people that's coming from like high crime cities in their countries, especially that has higher crime population, the residents who are living in that neighborhood. I want to help people get their lives together. I'm promoting things that sounds helpful to people out there. I want people to be positive. I want people to feel happy what they're living in. I want people to feel happy they found a job. I want to feel happy they found a home. And I want to encourage them to be responsible that they pay their rent. I want to help people stay away from trouble, stay away from serious crimes. I always want to promote the right stuff out there to do every day. I never like to skip a day on watching the news. I have to just for awareness, just to be more careful. And being careful, being aware of surroundings are the most important things out there in the world. Because there have been some gun violent tragedies and other tragedies besides that. The recent gun violence was last week in New Zealand. The Australian man in New Zealand killed at least 49 people because he was Nazi. And that's a hate crime. Like, I'm not understanding what kind of thoughts people have in their mind. What can you do about it? And also the gun violence that happened last year in Florida. The guy that killed at least almost 20 people. And also what happened in Las Vegas about almost 2 years ago, Stephen Paddock. That happened at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. And also what happened in Orlando, Florida about, I would say, 3 years ago. That killed 50 people, injured 49 people. And I like the gun violence. I like the laws to be tighter on ammunition and also machine rifles. Because the purpose, the reason what machine rifles should be used for is counterterrorism police and FBI division as well. And you only able to carry it with you if you're on the clock and you're there to get paid to be security of the federal facilities. Their job is to keep people protected. And I'm encouraging people to be safe. I want to do the best to keep people safe and keep people secure. Because I'm always on the watch out for anything. If I see something looks suspicious, I have the right to make a report to get that investigated. I like taking things the hard way. Even though I'm a friendly person, but I still can take it hard. From what I see on the internet and what I hear, especially in public, I like to be on a watch out for the community and be on a watch out for the crowds of the people in the metropolitans. I'm so happy to chat with strangers, but I'm friendly to chat with some of them that I have the mood of. I like to be friendly, be lovely to people around there. And based on who you are, what your religion is, and how you look, I cannot look at you of what kind of person you are. Like, you don't have the right to judge anybody, because when you judge people, that's a target of discrimination there. And who I'm like with sister and brother, I would be like that to like everybody. The same way you want to treat people the same way you treat your brother, sister, and your whole entire family. Just generally. And what kind of personality you have in you. And what I have an opinion in on you on that person. And you always want to avoid being target of anything that people feel that you're suspicion of. And you want to avoid being on any wanted list because you're listed as a criminal when you meet the list. And you want to watch the friends and the people you hang out with, and it's all about the friends you choose that you want to hang out with. And for me, when I'm hanging out with people, I would search people for sure, like I'm security, but not the police officer. I would search the person before I hang out with the person for sure, just to make sure I don't have a bad look as being target, being a suspicion. You always want to choose your time as wisely as you can, and plus, when you give a stranger a ride, I would search the person to make sure they don't got drugs, they don't got guns on them or nothing before I give them a ride. Because it makes me unsafe, it makes other people unsafe. Then I'm the one that's carded for that. And, and you always want to avoid anything that could be a criminal offense. You never want a felony. You never want a federal felony as well. And you want to keep your convictions as limited. Because if you got felony convictions, then you are restricted to most categories in certain circumstances. Like, for example, with a felony conviction, you are restricted for a firearm, especially if it's related to like domestic violence or battery, anything like that. And also drug possession as well. And the thing is, if you're arrested because you had a drug possession and an offense, you can be ineligible to get the job. Because let's say you're a pre-employee and you apply for the company, then regulatory, you are required for drug tests. And the thing is, if you test positive, in my opinion, that you took a substance, if you agreed you took the substance, then you're permanently ineligible for the industry, the business that you applied to. I think you can be ineligible for good or for a couple years, I guess. and you have the right to make the corrections and declarations if you were wrongly arrested for, wrongly charged for. You have the right to prove the evidence. You have the right to change all of that. Because in the world we live in, we most likely live in an unregulated world on most circumstances because people get away with the violations. People doing wrong things and they're hiding things and it's messing it up for the innocence of the people. And like I feel sad and sorry for the innocent people being a victim, being killed by organized crime. And organized crime has harmful effects to the economy and also the nations. And it's making the nations a bad image. And that's why we want people to be employed. We encourage people to be employed for people who are looking for work. And like the bad reason why it is to be unemployed, to be jobless, is because people rob stores because the reasons why, because people are desperate for the money. And it's bad to rob, and you never want to hang around those kind of friends, because then you be the suspect at it. Then, and people are starving for food. People are fighting to survive. And with the government and the legislation, I think they're doing best to lowering the crime rate, slowing it down. But there's no ways to stop it. The only way to lower the crime rate is donating money to people, helping people get the jobs, getting the people to be employed and stuff. Because most people who have been homeless, unemployed, not all of them have been on drugs. What causes the list and what causes people to be homeless is drug addictions, gambling addictions. Those are the main common causes of people to be homeless, because they're not able to pay their bills. They're not able to pay their rent. Because if you have failure to pay your rent, you lose your home, you get evicted based on how you take care of your house and apartments. And the thing is, you want to get a job, you want to be employed, you want to keep your job, you want to do the right thing to keep your job, and you want to avoid rules that can be breached. Because you got to understand there's consequences from what the laws and the federal laws that are breached. The thing is, the options are from the law you violate and you broke in, is you pay the fine or serve a year and serve years in jail. Or you must fight the case with the attorney that can help you with, because the attorneys are licensed out there to remove your convictions because you don't want them visible. And the thing is, when you apply for anything that's like Security Department of Homeland, and the thing is, when you apply, you get on Social Security, everything on the background will be appeared to show. Then they will send you a letter in the mail saying, we regret we regret to deny you, and it's gonna tell you, unfortunately, we have to deny you for a reason, even though we dislike to do that, because they feel that you are a risk, you are a threat. They feel like you're in danger to the people out there. But before and after the 9/11 attack, people are making security much tighter, much stronger, and more out there on the duty. And I disagree that Muslims and Jewish should not be treated this way. They should be treated fairly. But I think all religions should be treated equally like others. No matter if you're man or woman or your skin color, who you are, you always should be treated the same equally. It's always fair that it's always fair that federal laws prohibits this discrimination use. Everyone has to have a right for freedom. And you have the right to make friends with all kind of people that's out there, no matter what country they're from. I like people by what personality they are, depending on their honest person. They're not a jerk. And they're not evil, that I would confirm. I confirm they're nice people out there that I want to be around with. And I like what's diverse. I like diversity. Diversity sounds entertaining, sounds inspiring. Because I like to see foreigners to start businesses in their country. I like to see foreigners start businesses in America, and I think we need foreigner business people out here, and to help people with their goals and their development, and help people with their achievements. And I like people to be honest. I like honesty, loyalty, and integrity, and professionalism and capitalism is what I like to hear from on their characteristics of the person. I like to see people become impressed. I like good feedback on them. I like to hear good things about people. That's something that I always want to be on. I like to be a good looked at. I like to have a good impression on people. I always want to have a good look at and what to do and what to do out there to others. Thing is, you can't please everybody that's out there, and you don't have to please everyone as well. Because, like, whatever you do is your choice. Be happy in what you do. If you're gay, if you're a lesbian, I can't discriminate on you, and do whatever makes you happy. I can't stop you on what you are. Feel happy in what you are. That's all I could say. You always want to do things whatever makes you happy, and we're not out there for you to feel embarrassed. We're not out there. We're not out there to bully you or to be mean to you. We're out there. We're out there to encourage you for success. We want people to have goals in life. That's what we want. And for me, for an example, I have a desire to start a business in a foreign country like the UK, England, because we're allies to the country. We love the country. We're like a brother to them. And I really have answers that I can really get in contact with the US Embassy and their nation if I have any inquiries on starting a business over there, anything like that. And plus, you want to know what the laws are anywhere you go. And like everywhere you go, nothing's going to be safe 100%. You can always be halfway safe or halfway danger. You're always going to be in the mix of what can happen. You can never be too careful, just like you can never be too of anything. You can never be too sure of nothing. You always got to keep in mind that you're aware of anything that can happen. Always keep in mind of that. And people don't understand others as well. So that's why people are afraid of people, because what they don't understand. And plus in society as well. You don't want to go both ways, like men and women, rich and poor, any nationality you're from. I have the courtesy and the kind to help you out, chat with you, or anything. I'm lovely of a person. I like to ask questions of something that sounds courteous to them. Like, I don't want to ask anything that doesn't sound like it's a non manner thing to them. Like, I have a list of 3 questions that you don't ask people. I don't think you want to ask a person their age for the first one. The second one is I don't want to ask people what religion you are, because people feel discriminated by that. And also, I do not want to judge you, ask you what have you done in the past 5 years. That I don't want to ask you, have you been deported? I don't want to ask anything that sounds out of respect to people. I like to ask questions that sounds peaceful to them. What are your goals? What are your ambitions in life? And also, what are your goals? What are you happy about? What are you proud about? Is what I like to ask you about. I like I like people. I like everybody to feel safe. I like social media to be safe. And what you post on social media, the federals, the investigators, and the government have a monitor to it, and the nations monitor all of that as well. And I love the policemen. I love the FBI's to keep people safe out there. And it's a good idea to have more and more hired, because it drops the threat, it drops the risk, it lowers the percentage of it. That's the reason why more law enforcement should be hired per month, per year, because it makes the academy much more stronger and stronger. And I like to keep myself in shape. I like to see other people keep themselves in shape, to keep themselves safe. And like by law, I like to see people carry firearm as long as they have a permit. They're legalized to carry it. They got to keep themselves protected, like we all have to, for a reason. But I would always do things legal by what the law requires. That I always would follow at all times. You always want to follow federal laws and federal regulations. Nothing regardless to safety issues and what's posed out there to people. And and once you do something, it's already too late. Then you regret it. And each other state has different laws on what you're allowed to do in certain circumstances. Like, in certain states, like, let me repeat this again. Like, in certain states, you can't even have certain businesses operating in a city and state for most legislation reasons. And I'm not even worried about that because I always encouraged you to live in big cities. And I'm a big city person. I can only live in cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, especially in the US because it's domestically. It's domestic what I'm talking about. Domestic laws that are inquiry regarding certain businesses you can have in certain cities. And most businesses you gotta believe it's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibilities. But everything in life is a responsibility, not just driving with your vehicle. Because let's say you were driving, and the common tickets people get is like speeding, getting stuck in traffic. Those are minor offenses in driving. So that doesn't affect your driving record as much. But what affects your driving record, I would say, is a DUI that affects it. And consequences from a DUI is you get suspended license. And depending on how severe the DUI is, it can lead to determination of driving. Let's say you had a DUI, it killed a police officer, so that's a severe case. That's a severe DUI charge. That's severe. And when there's an accident involved with something, they investigate what it is. And it has to be evidence to prove your circumstances to be charged. But it's already reduced if there's insufficient evidence involved. So you always want to have insurance in life everywhere you go. And for me, if I want to leave the country, which I'm eligible for, I want to make sure passports are valid. The EU legislation is all valid. And that, because if I have questions, not aware of it, I have the right to give them calls with those inquiries. You always want to be eligible to enter in the country. You want to avoid being a target, because when you're a target of something, they fear you're going to cause a risk. Then you're barred. If you're barred entering the country, it could take 5 to 10 years. It's just like you in jail to enter in the country, because we feel that you're going to cause a hazard to the country. You're putting them in danger. So when you leave the country, they're really, really, really strict with Custom and Border Patrol. They're out there. They're out there doing inspections on travelers to protect people from smuggling drugs, smuggling currencies that's undeclared into the country. Because the thing is, consequences can be taken with the actions. Let's say if you fail to declare over $10,000 entry to the country, then the chances are your currencies will be seized. Then there's more trouble to that. When your money is seized in Indian country, they have to refuse you and list you as an inadmissible traveler entry to the country, because you're posing a risk to their country. And I'm aware of lots and lots of laws, but not too 100% clear of it. I'm aware of what the laws are in Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Those economic, global, wealthy countries that I know the codes and standards of. That I know, that I'm aware of. Because there's consequences on what you smuggle that's prohibited in their country. Because on an Asian countryside, consequences are severely harsh and dangerous when you're caught smuggling substance into the country, because they're there to keep their country protected. Their job is to keep their country safe and healthy, and keep the crimes at the lower level. So they take it as no chance. It's a zero tolerance there. And also what I'm speaking with the Middle Eastern countries, they don't take their laws light there, like the UAE, Iran, and Iraq, Saudi Arabia. Let's say, for example, you're caught stealing. Man, it's a punishment for like amputation. And if you're caught smuggling substance like cannabis and drugs, they execute you by law. They have the legalization to do that. That's why when you travel, know your laws, do the right thing. You want to know better in what you do, for sure. Understand each law before you leave the country. And like, for example, for like, like statetravel.gov, they advise you, they warn you. There's like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, like warnings before you enter in the country. And when you go out the country and then you want to watch yourself, keep yourself protected. There's crimes that are not protected like America. There's scam artists out there to get you. And like whatever people tell you, it's a hoax what people tell you. People are there to use you, get advantage out of you. You could protect yourself from being a victim for sure. I have a top 3 list to describe that you could avoid being a victim of. You could be a victim of gun violence. You could be a victim of identity theft. And you can avoid being a victim of terrorism attacks, anything like that. Because if you see anything that looks suspicious, you have the authority and the right to get in contact with investigators. And for them to believe it, for them to approve it, you must take a video or photo and report it to them. Because they're out there to keep people protected, keep people safe. And I'm out there to promote positive things to happen to people every day. We want to help people go to worships. We want to help people with the peace and love. Because so much hatred out there. You seeing people killing each other every day. And I regret to hear things like that on the news. It's so depressing. And it's so depressing to people and their family. And to avoid being depressed from the bad news, you want to hang out, give people a hug, give the right people a hug out there. You have the right to like people, love people on who you are. And I'm out there to educate you, coach you, train you. I'm doing things with caution. Because I have feelings on people. I have feelings for people on how they feel, on what they hear that's been happening. And some people are luckily they have not been the victim, but they almost had. I will say thank you God for that. You could only trust God. And you got to ask God for your forgiveness and your will and your power to give you what you need. Because God is out there to make it happen for you. Make the happiness happen for you. And God is out there to help you have a good day. And you can support any religion you want to support, what's positive. Some people don't have any religion to support. I like to believe in what's peaceful out there, what's positive out there. And the way the laws are set up in the Middle Eastern countries, it sounds like a disgrace. That they have to live under the constitution of their nations and stuff. Because I don't like to support anything that's related to anything political or any politics or any issues to that. I only believe in independency. I only believe in being independent than a Democrat or Republican. Because the thing is, if I want to run for president, I will figure out how to make those legislations work. And I have to sign the terms and agreement to agree to it. Because it's a lot of work to put the investigations on. It's a lot of work to prove if it's true or not. Because there's ways and ways to track things you could prove. Because if anything goes wrong, you got the right to investigate what went wrong. Because we're out there to keep people safe and protected. And it's so regretful and so hateful to see people suffering every day. It's sad. People are starving. And that's why people are begging for money. People are desperate for their needs. Because the thing is, you gotta give money to the poor people. Don't be no snob. Don't care for yourself, not for others. And you could also donate money, create organization, stopping organized crimes being operated, because it does have an effect on the economy. We're out there to develop goals. We're out there to develop opportunities for people. We want to see changes in people. We want to see people feel happy for things to happen in life. That's what I'm out there for. And I will give a description speech on that. Whatever I have an interview for. If they have questions they have to have me, I have the right. I feel happy to answer them for. And I want to see people at peace. I want to see people's lives change, especially people who came from a poverty family, people came from a poverty neighborhood and a poverty city. I want to see people get jobs, people who've been poor, because there's plenty of times you could change your life. You always want to keep your negativity at a limited level, as low as you can, and keep your positivity at an unlimited level. Like I say, limit your negativeness and unlimited your positiveness is what you always want to do. Always keep your jobs open, unlimited, and keep working long term. I have the opinions to help you out on. I'm not even legal to give you any kind of advice because your mistakes on giving advice is things can go into disaster giving advice, especially if you're not licensed to. I don't advise you to do. The advices I would tell you is always consult with your advisors. For example, there are 3 example advices I would tell you to consult. Because if the 3 vices, if I feel like giving you any tax advice or anything, for example, I would tell you to consult your advisors. And if I feel like giving you any medical advice, I would tell you I had to tell you to consult your doctors. I have a source in the site to give you the answers because I want to be the person to give you the answers. And also, any kind of financial advice, I would say consult your advisor on that for sure. And I have more speech to describe, like I want to have a conversation with you. So I have more conversations to share about. You can contact me or message me through Instagram or Facebook at any time. And I do not prefer text messages. I do not prefer phone calls for most reasons.